Oh, I got one.
Got him.
Oh.
What took a lot of casts on that point to get that? Is that a big one?
That's a pretty nice one, I think.
I don't know how big he is. Well, we have thrown at that point and thrown at that point and thrown at that point before that fish bit. Oh, that's a pretty good way to start, baby.
That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. You're right. Get him up here. Let me get him down there. We got a dip net in the boat. You want me to get him in a dip net or just get him? You don't really care, huh? Chris and I are at Comodero. It's been years and years and years since we've been at Comodero. She came down here with me when these fish were, biggest fish in the lake was probably about 3 pounds, and we caught 100 a day, but this fish right here is way, way bigger than 3 pounds. This is a big giant bass right there. Look at that size of that bass. Holy cow. Woo! I could dip net him, but I think I'll just get him for you. Okay. Woo! We're down here with our buddy Ron Speed. Oh, she won't open her mouth.
I'll get her.
I got her. Whoa, what a way to start, baby. Booyah! The guy, honey, he was so, look at that. He's ripped, look how big that hole is.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's ripped it, and I should have used a dip down. That is a big, giant bass right there. We're down here with Ron Speed, my buddy Ron. We fished with him at Picachos and here at Comodero, and we fished a lot of places with Ron. That is a big old fish. We had a scale laying here somewhere. Where's that scale? I saw it laying here in the boat somewhere. Okay. All right. Have that thing back. Oh, 8-11.
All right, take me back over there.
Take you back over and let you fish that point some more, huh? We'd fished that point I don't know how many times. We're back in the, this lake is in the mountains. It's really, really steep, and we're back in the back end of a pocket, an area Ron Speed calls 365. And the reason he calls it 365 is he said you can catch them here 365 days of the year. It doesn't matter, time of the year or anything. Oh, Jimmy, don't fall out of the boat. How deep you reckon you had your bait? You have any idea?
Probably about 3 or 4 feet deep.
Really? Not very deep
Little
then.
tiny one.
He hit right in the middle of that tree, didn't he?
No, it was in between the trees.
Up in that real shallow water?
In between the trees.
I'm kind of thinking they like a 1/2 ounce better than they do a 3/4 ounce. What do you think?
They might do it.
So far, anyway, huh?
So far.
That fish was not out on the end of that point at all. Of course, it wasn't 8 pounds either.
No. But he was willing to bite.
That's what I liked about him, is he was willing to bite. Got that one. Ooh.
Same one?
No, it's a different one. I threw off to the right a little bit. That's a big one.
It is?
He acts like it. Not as big as what you call, but he's a big one.
You need the net?
No, I'll get him. I got 50-pound high seas braid on here. Grand Slam blade. He ain't gonna break my line.
Right. I'll just throw it there. Catch
Not near as big as what you had. One I missed was probably bigger than this one. It's a big old fish, though. Whoa! Whoa! It's a big old fish. Come here, big old fish. Oh.
Nothing wrong with that one.
Booyah! Did you see the bait just fall out? I mean, the bait just fell out of his mouth. I mean, just fell out. That's a 6 or 7 pound fish right there. Golly. Did you see that? She wanted some more of that sugar. I kind of hate to kiss those big bass with my wife in the boat with me. I don't want her getting jealous or anything. She don't like me kissing around on anything but her. We're fishing with 3/4 and 1/2 ounce Booyah spinner baits. You see the size of that? That's a big 3/4 I've got on. And the only reason I've got on 3/4 is we're trying to get it down a little deeper. This lake is such a deep lake. Comodero, you know, I saw water on my Ray Marine. It was 218, 230 foot deep while we were running over here. We're staying out in about 20 foot of water, but those fish are up relatively shallow. My bait was probably only 2 foot deep, but we're slow rolling that bait. Got a big yum trailer on there, and he knocked the dog out of it. I missed one right before that. Now both those fish have been on points, In fact, every fish we've caught, all the fish that we've caught have been on points. So what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on points. And we fished a couple little tail ends. We've gone down some banks, but it appears that they're in these bushes on these points. And if you'll look around, there's quite a few secondary points. And I guess if you had a secondary point and then the next point, that'd be the tertiary point, huh?
I guess so.
Or tertiary point, is that right?
I don't know.
That sounds pretty cool. That's a big redneck word. Tertiary.
Just the next point.
Tertiary.
Just barely wiggles, I think.
If it was a fish.
This is a perch or a
Tilapia.
tilapia.
A tilapia. That's pretty unusual right there. You just don't catch many tilapia on
I don't
bait.
know if I've ever caught one.
Well, you have now.
Yeah.
A tilapia. I'll take that thing home and eat it.
Go throw it in that guy's net, huh?
He said, please, please don't throw me in the net. Please, please. Well, that's what makes the bass big down here. They eat those things. They don't eat them that size, but there's one. There's one. Well, he was way up in there. Big one, too.
All right.
Not a giant, but a pretty nice size. He was way up in there. Oh.
Need a net?
No, I don't need a net. I can swing this one, I think. I don't know if I can or not. I don't know. God, he's strong. Holy cow. It'd been twice that size. That wouldn't have surprised me a bit.
Pretty nice fish.
It's a nice fish, yeah. Golly, he was strong. Holy cow. Oh, yeah. 4 pounds. Yeah, pretty fish. This afternoon, the weather has 100% totally changed out here on Comodero, and we've got wind. We've got a little wind. We've got cloud cover. We've got absolutely perfect conditions for spinnerbait. I'm amazed that we're just not catching, 4 or 5 fish off every single point we're fishing, but we're not. But that's where they still are, is on the points, and we're getting to where we don't even hardly go down the side of a bank at all. Just go from point to point to point, and don't go back into the pockets, because every bite we've had has been right out on the points. There he is. There he is.
Wow.
He's not a very big one. But, I'll take him.
Not too bad.
Pretty good fish, yeah. Nothing wrong with that fish. Oh, yeah, he thinks he's a hog. Oh, he's pretty good size. That's something when you talk about just being a little one, a fish like that, isn't it?
Oh, look how fat that cow is.
He is a butterball. That's one of them right there, big old female. Gonna grow up to be 12, 14 pounds down here in Comodero Lake. Well, the old sun come out right here before dark, honey. We haven't really caught a ton of fish today. It's been very difficult, and I really don't understand why. They've had some days down here, but here in the last 4, 5, 6 days, it's just been really, really tough. The fish just seem to be on the points, and we get out here and on our Ray Marine. One of the questions that we hear all the time when we're doing fishing seminars or sitting around signing autographs at Bass Pro or just in general talking to fishermen is, what in the world do you do when you get out there and you just can't figure it out? You just can't catch them. You just have a difficult time getting a bite. Well, you do exactly what we've been doing today. You just go from point to point to point to point. Points afford a lot of things for a bass, a perfect type situation for a bass. One is, as a point comes out, they can lay out there and wait for bait fish to move across that point, either by the wind or normal migration back up into the ends of pockets. The other thing is, as a point comes out, usually there's brush that goes out at various depths so they can move from shallow water to deep water. Generally, as the points go out, they drop off on both sides. So you got the perfect scenario you're looking for, usually cover close to deep water. So if you have a hard time catching fish, and we do this a lot of times in tournaments. I mean, professional fishermen, I don't know how many times I've heard guys say, man, I didn't have any fish at 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and all I did is I start running points, throwing a spinnerbait, running points, dragging a jig, running points, throwing a crankbait, whatever, just going point after point after point. And it'll solve your problem a lot of times. Now, it's not a catch-all, but I'm telling you, a lot of times, if you have a difficult time, you can fish a lot of different baits. Today, we've been fishing a booyah spinnerbait, big 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, so we can get it down deep. Probably really could have got by with a smaller size. But crankbaits, jerk baits early in the year, worms, Carolina rigs. You can use a variety of baits. But just remember, when you have trouble, make it a point to fish the points, every one you find.